a love that was never meant to be. The village was still asleep when Nurbek opened his eyes. Through the small window of his wooden house, the first rays of the sun were barely touching the quiet streets. Roosters crowed in the distance, and somewhere far away, a dog barked once and went silent. Today felt different. The bus to the city would leave at exactly 8 a.m. Nurbek loved this ride. It was his bridge to the bigger world beyond the peaceful fields of his home. He stepped outside and inhaled the crisp morning air. Dew sparkled on the grass, and a thin column of smoke rose lazily from a neighbor's chimney. Moments like this made him feel alive, as if the world belonged only to him, just for a heartbeat. When the bus arrived, he chose a seat in the front, by the window. He liked to watch the road stretch into the distance, to see the fields and trees slowly passing by, as if the earth itself was moving under his gaze. At the next stop, a girl stepped in. She wore a light blouse, her dark braid neatly resting on her shoulder, and her eyes reflected the morning sky. She hesitated for a moment, then noticed the empty seat beside him and smiled softly. "Good morning," she said. "Good morning," Nurbek replied, feeling an unexpected flutter in his chest. For a few moments they were silent, listening to the hum of the engine and the creak of the road beneath the tires. Then, as if the bus itself pushed them closer, a conversation began. Her name was Eigel. She was a high school senior, traveling to the city for exam prep classes. She spoke about her dreams, her little village, and how she wanted to see the world beyond the hills that surrounded her home. By the time the bus rolled into the city, it felt like they had known each other for years. They exchanged phone numbers before parting ways. A small gesture that would change both of their lives. From that day, their connection grew. Messages turned into calls, calls into late-night conversations. Eigel shared everything, her hopes, her fears, her little victories. Nurbek responded warmly, kindly, but deep inside, his heart remained calm. A year passed. Eigel finished school and returned to the city, this time to take the entrance exams for the university. Her eyes sparkled with excitement. The world was finally opening its doors to her. And somewhere deep inside, she believed Nurbek would be a part of that world. She was accepted. Life in the dorm, new friends, busy streets. She told him about everything with the voice of someone who had just stepped into a new life. Nurbek listened, and with every word, a quiet weight settled heavier in his chest. He knew she was in love, and he could not love her the same way. He tried to convince himself that time would change things, that maybe love would bloom slowly. But each meeting, each smile, each hopeful glance from her only deepened his guilt. One evening, he decided he couldn't hide anymore. They met in a quiet park near the university. The late summer air was cool, and the first yellow leaves danced in the gentle wind. The city lights shimmered in the distance, and for a moment, the world seemed to hold its breath. "Eigel," he finally said, his voice heavy. "You are amazing, kind, bright, but I need to be honest with you. I couldn't fall in love with you the way you deserve." The words hung in the air like cold rain. Eigel froze. Her lips trembled. Her breath shook. Then slowly, her eyes filled with tears that caught the glow of a nearby street lamp. I understand," she whispered. "Thank you for being honest." He stepped forward, and they shared one last embrace. It was long and heavy, filled with all the words they would never say. When she finally turned and walked away, her silhouette faded into the dim park light. Her footsteps grew quieter and quieter, until there was only the sound of leaves in the wind. Nurbek stood there, alone, feeling a painful emptiness in his chest. Sometimes, love is not about holding on. Sometimes, love is learning to let go. Two paths had crossed for a brief, beautiful moment, just to leave a lesson behind. Eigel would remember him as her first love, and Nurbek, he would remember the girl who taught him the cost of honesty.